Welcome to our lesson today. It's such a great day. I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a pretty nice day, and I'm really excited about what I get to share with you because this is a practical tactic that is going to be able to increase your ability to get referrals. That's really what we're talking about today. Short lesson, won't take very long, but then you got some work to do, and I hope that you will do this. Shall we get started? The referral generation tool is an 8-step process that's going to allow you to systematically get more leads. Think about what are you going to do on a weekly basis with your leads. And so let's talk about this. Before we do that though, I have I've got another insider secret for you. What are the best producers doing? I really want to make sure this is clear at the front of this because there's some things that you can do that's going to help you use this tool even more effectively. So here's our insider secret for today. And that is, you've got to connect with every one of your clients online. You have so many relationships that are trying to keep them warm and keep them alive. And social media is a very powerful way for us to just quietly do that. I've got a couple quotes for you to really bring this concept home. This first one comes from the SVP of Global Brand and Marketing at Visa. He says, I'll zoom in here so you can read a little bit better. He says, the purpose of a business is to create a customer who creates customers. Okay, that's our goal. We want our existing clients to give us more referrals, not when we pry them out of them, but because they want to give them to us. In fact, this is what Dr. Chip Bell says. Loyal customers, they don't just come back, they don't simply recommend you, they insist that their friends do business with you. Can you create a relationship with them that is going to create this kind of ferocity that they're going to reach out and say, no, you need insurance, I got the guy for you. Okay, and finally, I like Walt Disney. He says, do what you do so well, they will want to see it again and bring their friends. Okay, now that makes sense at Disneyland. You might say, well, really? Cyber liability is so exciting that you're going to bring your friends. But when we do our job right and we create fans and we create devoted, I was actually in a call today talking with one of the students who's taking this course, and she was talking about a client who just has been around for 16 years. They've had them forever. In fact, I think they were second or third generation. And so you have some of these people who just love you and they're devoted to you and they tell their friends about you. We want to make sure that A, we're making more people like that out of our clients, and B, we're taking the time to really harvest the referrals that they're providing for us. So what we want to do today is we want to think about what are some of the things that you can do to get more referrals, okay? Here's my checklist. Number one, first way you can do it is create a list of your top 100 favorite clients. Who are the clients that you appreciate the most? And then you're just going to schedule time to connect with these people online and engage them. Okay, it's not going to happen magically. What we've got to do is sit down and say, okay, once a week for 20 minutes a week, I'm just going to start going through this list, looking out on the internet, finding which social media platforms they're using, connecting with them. It's important that we connect with them on the social media platforms that they're using, in addition to LinkedIn, which is our main harvesting tool here. So connect with them on LinkedIn and whatever other platform they're using. Okay, that's one. When you get through that whole 100, make a list of your next 100 people, right? And you want to just do this so that way all of these people are within your online social network. You can kind of take this more of a week-to-week approach, which is, this first one is saying, okay, here's my to-do list, my big laundry list of things to do. This one is saying, no, let's just do it in bite-sized chunks. Every single week, you have appointments to meet with people. Proactively think about who you're going to meet with this week and go in and do a little research. Are you connected with them on LinkedIn and the other important social networks to you and to them? Take the time to connect with them in that. And it might be that you're going to send them a note, right? The little LinkedIn request to connect with them might say, hey, I'm looking forward to our lunch meeting on Thursday. I just noticed we weren't connected on LinkedIn. I'm so embarrassed. So here's a connection request. And then that's going to help you contextually add more and more people through your day-to-day activities. The other thing is you're going to bump into people that you weren't expecting every week. And so my other recommendation here is at the end of the week, look backwards and say, who did I run into this week that I wasn't planning to run into? I didn't take this step for them, but I've recently had a connection with them. When we request to connect with people close to a real life event, there's a lot more context and it's a lot easier to make that connection. And so if you say, hey, you send the same thing, your message on whatever you're connecting with, but we'll use LinkedIn for this example. You find them on LinkedIn, you send the connection request, you add a little note that says, it was such a, pleasure or unexpected, wonderful moment when you stopped in and did whatever. Whatever the circumstances were, there's so much real context from that. And then just say, I just noticed that we weren't connected on LinkedIn and I want to connect. And then that's when you can add some of those other things we talked about in the lesson yesterday, like here's how I use LinkedIn to share content or things like that, or whatever those things are that make sense. But the main thing is we're making these connections in relationship to events that are about to happen or events that just happen. And over time, right, you just quietly do this, kind of like brushing your teeth, right? You just do a little bit every day. Over time, you're going to be able to really grow out your social network. The next one, okay, let's jump in on that one. Connect with potential customers who work for your clients. Okay, this is an important one. When I think about the time that I spent at the carriers, a lot of times I worked with the sales reps, the territory managers. And what would happen is they would be responsible for all these different agencies, right? You know them, you have some. And who do they know? Who do they have their relationship with? Is it the owner of the agency? Is it one producer? Is it the operations? Like, who are those people? I would always find myself saying, look, there are more people at this business than just these key people. And there's two benefits for reaching out to more people. Now let's move it into your situation. Let's say you insure a restaurant, right? And you've got the couple chefs and the operations person and this general manager. Like, there's these different people. If you're connected, even down to the waiter, right? I would say this with the sales reps, like the CSRs and all the producers. I don't care if they started yesterday. If you connect with them on LinkedIn and then you share content, there's more likely that people within that agency are going to see that content, and they have such a close proximity to each other, they're going to share it with each other. And so you're going to create what we call an absent presence. Your presence will be there, even though you're not, right? You're absent physically, but they're going to be talking about your stuff. They're going to be sharing it. And so when we want to get more visibility into an organization, if we're only connected with one person there, the owner, then that's different than when we're connected to all these different people. So thinking about that with your clients, especially those who are in commercial, who are the other key people, really all the people that work there that you could have a relationship with. So when you share your content, then you're increasing that likelihood. The second thing is that these people, you don't know what their future, right? I would tell the sales reps, like, you don't know when these producers are going to start their own agency. And the same thing for you guys, like with a restaurant as our example, you don't know when that chef is, he could be days away from starting his own agency. And he might be like, I don't know how I'm going to cover the insurance, right? He read E-Myth, right? Remember that book came out like 20 years ago? Got all excited and said, hey, I'm going to quit making pies. I'm going to create my own business, right? And he's going to be a pie maker. Well, all of a sudden he realizes, oh, there's all this other stuff. I don't know what to do about all this stuff. One of them is insurance. And now all of a sudden, because you're already connected with him, he's been seeing your stuff. When they're ready to make that shift in their personal career, you already have the relationship with them through their previous organization, and you're going to increase the likelihood that they're going to come to you. So it's just a great way to increase over time the amount of warm market leads that we get. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. Let's jump into the referral generation tool. Again, like I say, it won't take very long to go through this one. There's really only two parts. Let me go back. We're going to identify your referral opportunities, and then you're going to actually copy in your referral details, and you're going to decide how you're going to engage with those referrals. So this goes hand in hand with the work we did in the leads generation. Okay, so let's jump in here and look at this first part of the form. So identifying your referral opportunities. Who will you meet with this week? Okay, this is exactly what I was just telling you. So you're going to write in who you're going to meet with. You're going to check, am I connected with them on LinkedIn yet, or some of the other social networks, but LinkedIn's the primary one we're doing. And then can you look at their connections on LinkedIn to see if this person has more or has connections that are prospects for you. So it's not just about you connecting with them, it's about you forecasting a conversation that you're going to have in the future, right? The whole goal is when I meet with them, I'm connected with them, right? I connect with them before we met, but then I went in and I looked at their connections. So when we had that meeting with them, I was able to say, you know what? It's been so great to see you. I'm glad we took care of all the business we need to take care of. By the way, I just was on LinkedIn the other day and I noticed that you're connected with this person right here, John or Kevin or Sally or whoever it is. And then say, what's your relationship with them? and you're going to be able to have real conversations about real people that then when it's done, you can say, you know, would you mind making an introduction for me? Or what I do often is just like we talked about yesterday, is you're just going to say, do you mind if I mention your name when I reach out to them? And they say, oh yeah. And then that way, if they do any checking, you know, they'll be, oh yeah, we were talking about you the other day. And so it's all contextual. It's not just cold calling. There's just enough warm market connectivity with this stuff that it happens. It's much more effective, and you get a lot more connections, right? The people say yes, and they're willing to have that conversation with you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that, and then you're gonna choose how you're going to get that referral, okay? So let's look at how you do it. You might say, Brett, okay, I understand functionally what you're saying, but I don't really know how to use LinkedIn to do that, okay? This is what we're gonna talk about right now. So let me zoom in here, and I wanna show you how you can use LinkedIn to get referrals from people you already know. So what we do here is we go up to the search box and we click this search box, but we don't type anything in it. When we click it, before we type anything, all we have to do is from this drop down that automatically shows up, click people. And once you click people, it's going to change a little bit. And so now all of a sudden I've clicked people and I've got some options here. Well, we want to go to all filters. So we still haven't typed in the name of anyone. We just clicked here, typed or selected people, and then we click all filters. And then what happens is our screen opens up and we've got all these filters we can choose. We haven't typed anything in here. But down here under connections of, we're going to write the name of the person that we have our meeting with, the person that we are connected to. In this example, I'm using Robert Cialdini, okay? If you know who Robert Cialdini is, he is just fantastic. He wrote some amazing books. He's kind of the father of social psychological compliance. I wish I had a meeting with him this week. I'm just using this as a fictitious example. But in this, he's kind of the guy. So I start typing his name in, and you see he comes up. So I click on him. And what happens is when I click on them, I also probably would set a couple other settings in here. So in my example, I picked law practice because maybe I'm trying to write more attorneys, and I think I might have clicked a couple other things. And so that reduced his results from a big number of people down to just a few. And so I've got 4 results, and one of them is Eric. So now I'm going to click on Eric's profile. I'm going to check him out. And so what we can do here, this is what we do, is we kind of preemptively find 2 or 3 or 6, like however many we want, people that once we get and meet with that person, we can bring up their names. So now I've had my meeting with Bob, everything went well, and I say, you know what, I was on LinkedIn the other day, I noticed that you're connected with Eric over at this law firm. You know, what's your relationship with him? They talk about it, you have a good conversation. You say, man, I write a lot of attorneys. There's just some really cool benefits that we have available to us, some cool solutions, and I'd really like to talk to him. Would you mind if I mentioned your name when I reach out to him as a mutual connection? And of course he'll say that's fine. And so now when I reach out to Eric, I can actually say, hey, I was talking to our mutual friend the other day, Bob Cialdini, and your name came up, and we thought it might make sense for me to, or I realized I really want to connect with you. And then after, or you could say even after and then I came online, I looked at your profile, I thought, wow, this guy is fascinating. I'd really love to get connected with you on LinkedIn. Okay, first date material, right? We're not going to the end, we're just getting them, right? This is the fish that we're getting them in our pool, and then we're going to nurture that relationship over time. So we're getting people into the pool, and that's what we do. So that's all we're going to do in this situation is we're going to figure out who we're meeting with this week. Are we connected already? If you're not, this won't work, so we got to get connected with them first. And then, sorry, zooming in here, we're going to write down their names, and then we're going to decide how we're going to ask for that referral from this person. Your assignment today is to just go ahead and do this for 3 different meetings that you have this week. Now, I hope you'll do it for all of them. I hope that this will just be an exercise to get comfortable with this, and this becomes a part of your weekly process. My whole goal all the time is to say, how do we integrate the use of social media into your sales process? This is just an example of that. Like, this becomes a weekly activity that you're going to look at, who am I meeting with this week, do a little bit of research, and come prepared to be able to have some extra conversations about potential referrals. And it's great. It works out really well. So the second part of it is we're going to then decide how we're going to engage them. So this section here is just a little bit more detail. So you can, after you've had that meeting, you can write in their name and their business and what kind of potential lead you think they will be. Have you reached out to that potential prospect or the referral, the person you're trying to get the relationship with? And then after you meet with them, you might have some notes here. Again, you could print this off, put it in a binder, and then over time, review this. So here's your weekly assignment that you'll be doing over and over again once you've learned how to do this. Connect with your existing clients. Okay, this is ongoing. Use the referral generation tool. Find 9 potential leads, 3 potential leads for 3 people that you're going to see this week. Fill out items 1 through 4. After you meet with that person, the referral source, complete items 5 through 8. Okay, start doing this. And I'd love to get your feedback on how it's going. Okay, how many new clients do you pick up as a result of this activity? I'd love to get that data from you. So, because I just love seeing this executed and working out well. So that's it for the week. That's the referral generation tool. Like I say, not a heavy-handed thing, but it just takes a little bit of time, a little digging around. And I want you to get comfortable with this process so it becomes natural. It just becomes something you do. When you're setting up a meeting, you go into LinkedIn, you see if you're connected, you make that connection request if you're not. And then from there, you're also going to look at their connections, look at their friends, and then see who that they're connected with that would be a good prospect for you. And then slowly, you're just adding these people into your pool. Down the road, in the next couple of days, I'm going to show you some more ways that we engage these people. But right now, we just want the fish in our pool so we can start feeding them and establish a relationship that makes them happy and makes them rely on us. So when they have insurance-related issues or questions or problems, we become the #1 go-to person for them. That's our goal here. All right, good luck, and I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.